actually really excited about watching Richie's run back, but here he is, the professor. 2 times a UCI World Cup overall title holder on the bounce. Can he make it free this year? Loic Bruni on that prototype Specialized is still very much the rider to beat in this sport. Can he beat Oisin O'Callaghan? 143 beats per minute. He's calm now. We know he revs low. That will spike though. How do you rate Loic's chances today, Nico?
I'd say they're pretty high. He's not a mud specialist, but he's a guy who likes to start last. He loves the pressure. He wants to win this championship and win races, and he's got a new bike to show.
Look how smooth he is through that top section. Loic Bruni is the last rider on the hill here in the UCI Downhill World Cup Finals in Bielsko-Biala in Sturt Bike Park.
Rounding off those turns really nicely, keeping his momentum up.
He just so seamlessly falls into a pedal stroke after every corner, doesn't he? Let's see what the first split says then. Bruni crosses it and goes fastest by 0.6 of a second. Loic Bruni now. Conditions so chewed up down towards those turns, but Bruni making good sense of them, Nico.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's... Oh, that was the first slip up we've seen. I think it was fast. It wasn't a slip up. It looks like he just doesn't put a tire wrong, this guy.
Just caught that slide and no more.
Really nicely skipped the hole right there.
And he told us at the start of the week that getting that title won early doors last season, having some early seasons like success in Fort William was huge for him. He narrowly missed out on victory here last year to Ronan Dunne. Is he going to lose out on victory to another Irishman today in Oisin O'Callaghan? Loic Bruni crosses the second split beam, does the big gap, and he's still nearly 0.7 ahead, but he's not gained anything on Oisin O'Callaghan yet.
Well, here's where it all gets technical. Let's see what we can do through this wood section.
O'Callaghan, Pierron, Rude, Deprella, Shaw, your top 5. Last rider on track in front of your very eyes at the minute is Loic Bruni of Specialized Gravity. Feet up, surfing through the ruts, looking absolutely superb now.
And he's extended.
1.1, he's extended it, he's nearly doubled that gap. 47.3 kilometers an hour through the speed trap. Bruni headed towards the hot seat. Is it going to be enough to beat Oisin O'Callaghan today?
You know Bruni will be strong on the pedals. He's got a lot of horsepower in those legs.
There's that whoop live up to 171 now from 140 in the gate, so he's moving now. Bruni perfect through there, clips a course pole, goes high in that turn.
He was inside of it.
Smooth through there, already pedaling before the back wheels back on the ground. What's the fourth split going to tell us now?
I didn't see anything wrong in that section.
10 UCI World Cup downhill wins to his name so far. Is this going to be 11? There's his coach screaming him on from the sidelines. He's 1/10 of a second now. It's just down to 1/10 of a second. He's lost a second somewhere. Super Bruni is going to have to stay right at the top of his powers if he wants to take a victory here today. Oh, surfs his way right into that rut. Turns left. Loic Bruni, just 1 corner to go. Heads towards the line. Is it going to be enough? Loic Bruni crosses the finish line and wins in Sturt Bike Park. 1/10 of a second is enough to do it. Oisin O'Callaghan will be second. He tasted defeat here last season. He didn't like it. He's come back and he's got the job done in Poland. Loic Bruni takes the win at round 1. That was almost perfection, Nico. Pick a mistake in there.
I didn't see any, man. He rode it so well. Aggressive, on his line. I mean, that's just such a mature ride that you expect from Super Bruni.
He wasn't quite as focused and calm. Oh, that's unfortunate for Charlie Hatton.
Here we go. Jackson Goldstone getting ready to go for the Santa Cruz Syndicate. Missed just about all of last season due to injury. Has already won Red Bull Hardline this season. Would love to get back to winning UCI Downhill World Cups yet again. Said he'd been ill in Bielsko-Biala earlier in the week. A bug that had done the rounds in the camp.
Now, interestingly, Jackson's been struggling with this upper section. He's one of the lighter riders we have, so he struggles with the high speeds at the top, yet that's his advantage down lower as it gets steeper. Look at that inside line, Jackson Goldstone.
Absolutely superb bike riding from Jackson Goldstone. Nico, that looked like it worked.
It looked awesome. He cut the whole apex of that turn, missed all the deep holes, missed the soft spot, still carried great exit speed.
66.8 kilometers an hour through the speed trap for Jackson Goldstone. Half a second back at split one, crucially. We know it's about surviving and making as good as he can through this smaller, lighter rider in the wind, and then get into the sanctuary of the trees and really get to work on this run.
Yeah, yesterday he was 60s in the first split, 40s in the second split, and then took it down into the 10s after that. So you can tell he's struggling more with the flat stuff.
Back end kicking out from underneath him. Across that, maybe he was just in two minds, but well enough to take that gap on in the wind.
Now I'm liking that line Jackson took there. It's a bit of a midline that cuts across, and it doesn't quite apex him so hard into that corner. These are the berms I was mentioning before, and he also carries some great speed through that lower left-hand line. Jackson Goldstone stepping into the piece of track, which is in his favour. The speed, the lightness, the power, the strength.
6/10 of a second at split two now for Jackson Goldstone, so he's lost of a tenth of a second, but crucially, he's out of the wind now. The top five as things stand. Jordan Williams, Lucas Shaw, Pinkerton, Pierron, Wayman. There we go. This is going to be maximum Jackson through here.
This is what we've been waiting for. We missed this in Poland earlier in the year, but Jackson Goldstone, he had a great ride earlier in February, and he's back.
Nico, is there a danger that he's overriding this at the minute?
I think he's doing right what he needs to. He's in touch. He's where he needs to be. And this is the section where he's going to make up time. This has his name all over it.
He got a little unsettled there. Now, this is the crucial part. He's riding right on the limit. He smacks that hole.
Look at the speed that Jackson Goldstone rails around that rough, survives that corner that took out Charlie Hatton. Nico, this is looking really, really good so far.
It's looking very aggressive, and I think it's hard to tell how fast he's going because he's riding it so smoothly.
Yeah, Jackson Goldstone has absolutely hit that third sector that we know that can be key, and he's 1.4 seconds faster. Does the big gap, but tags the lip on the way through.
Gets the high line over the scrub wall. Jackson Goldstone, he's been struggling with the track this week, but look at the speed he's carrying. He gets above the pocket of line here.
Moves us back from our own monitors here in the booth. Jackson Goldstone, 1.4 seconds faster. He's 2.4 seconds faster. Just as I say that, the Santa Cruz Syndicate Star is heading for the hot seat here in Loudenvielle Peyragueux. If he can get the job done and get to the line, this is Jackson Goldstone back at his scintillating best, and he's heading for the hot seat here in Loudenvielle Peyragueux by 2.9 seconds. Jordan Williams can hardly look. What a performance from one of the sport's biggest stars, Jackson Goldstone. Gets it done in Loudenvielle Peyragueux. He's back, Nico.
He's definitely back. I thought that he might struggle with the top half of this track, but he was right where he needed to be crossing the bridge and tore it apart at the bottom.
Josh, you can see all the weights stuck on the bottom of the bike to help it stay low.
Yeah, that's right. He definitely put in a big effort to be quick enough at the top. He wasn't going to be the fastest, but in the bottom section, we could see that weight advantage, the way he dances across the track. He was hitting lines that no one else has seen or hit all week. Jackson Goldstone is back, and back with a fury.
Nico, we worried halfway.
I'm very excited. We're only halfway.
Here we go. Boost Bro is back in action. Josh Carlson's just had to turn the cap backwards.
Well, at least it was going to get blown off in a second, so I may as well prepare.
Here we go for the Santa Cruz Syndicate then. Jackson Goldstone, the winner of the last round in Loudenvielle last weekend, hits the course here in Leogang. Ken, how do you rate this man's chances today?
I think his chances are really good. You know, he's kind of the full package when it comes to riding and style and speed and everything. So he's looking really good. Hopefully get a clean run through here, and let's do this.
Big pull across the piece there from Jackson Goldstone. On one already, Josh.
Yeah, on one already. Now, we heard last weekend that Jackson had been struggling with some weight in the upper speed sections. So they've added a bit more weight to the bike this week to get him down this upper section a little bit faster.
0.4 of a second into the green now for Jackson Goldstone. Almost 2 kilograms added to that Santa Cruz V10 last time out to help him generate speed in Loudenvielle. Might even be more here in Leogang, but
wow.
Right.
He is railing these arms.
Absolute slingshot.
He looks like a guy that wants to win. Like, you can see him pushing every single inch on the track.
Oh, the swagger is there as well. Jackson Goldstone flowing through that route section. He's got another big steep pitch after this left-hander, and then it's out on the motorway, and he's going to fight all his better impulses to keep that Santa Cruz V10 glued to the deck, pedal in mid-air before he even gets out of it. Huge. 1.3 seconds faster. Jackson Goldstone just getting into the right gear mid-air there, and he's going to fire right out of this tunnel and hit the motorway properly. 60 kilometers an hour on the speed trap through there.
So he's up right now, and he needs that cushion as he comes into the woods. This speedway is where that lighter weight is going to be a disadvantage. You can see the windsock's not too aggressive, so he's not going to have a helping hand as he gets into the steeper woods down the bottom.
Ducks right down behind the stem on that Santa Cruz V10. Really, really good through the motorway so far. Jackson Goldstone, he's green at the first two splits. What's the third one going to tell us?
Now, we promise that's not nerves on the back of his pants. It's his shorts out the...
2 tenths of a second as he pulls across that gap and hits the wall right. He's still green as they head into the woods for the first time.
Look at the detail there. He's above the ruts. He's above the braking bumps, carrying extraordinary speed into the woods.
And here we go. Buckle up. He was absolutely scintillating through the woods in Loudenvielle. Goes that line over to the rider's right-hand side, Josh.
Inside.
Top 5 so far. Bruni, Stevens, McNabb, Dunne, Cole, Hatton. Jackson Goldstone is headed for that graphic though.
He's made a bit of a mistake there. He's got to reset. He's carrying extraordinary. It's my word of the day at the minute. Great speed through the woods.
He's back by 0.05 of a second, Ken. That mistake cost him some time in there.
Yeah, if anyone could pull it back, Jackson can at this lower section here. 0.05 of a second back is nothing with a couple of corners to go.
Across that huge gap jump, Jackson Goldstone is down at the splits for the first time in this run. Can he recover it though? Heads out into the rut that took him out of contention for the win here in 2023, where he finished first. Goldstone down towards the line now for the Santa Cruz Syndicate. The winner of the last round goes fastest by 0.05 of a second. Ken Roxon applauds it in the booth. Ken, what a run.
What a run. You could just see the intensity from this kid, you know. There's no letting loose. He was fighting every single part of the track, and he gets rewarded.
Yeah, absolutely massive, massive performance from Jackson Goldstone yet again. Straight back into the hot seat where he left off. Steve Pete likes what he sees. Josh, we all enjoyed that one.
We all enjoyed that one. We enjoyed the wall ride huck. We enjoyed the flair and the style from Jackson and the commitment. He knew he had to make it happen at the top, and the steeps is where he thrives. He absolutely nailed it in Loudenvielle, and here he is. He's put his best foot forward in Leogang and really put down a time that is going to be difficult to beat from anyone for the rest of today.
You saw, Ken, there, that little pause in the pedal stroke, and then this big pull.
That was so sweet. It's ridiculous.
You have to excuse us if we get overcome the commentary booth here, getting filled with powder flares from the fans at the bottom who enjoyed that one, but look how good he was through here, John.
Yeah, he got a little bit unsettled. I don't think that line was planned, but he refocused and calmed down, and he got a couple of sneaky inside theirs to finish, and the flair, the style, the confidence from this young Canadian was extraordinary.
Ken, that bike working so well through the root section. You can see it just resetting perfectly. Let's go. Apologies.
Hardest working athletes out there, and that was a run he will remember for a lifetime.
One rider to go here in Val di Sole, Trentino, and it's the rider that has won the last 2 rounds. It's Jackson Goldstone from Canada for the Santa Cruz Syndicate.
I almost know what it was.
This is one of those ones that is going to go all the way to the wire. Can the last rider at the top of the mountain get the win? It is Jackson Goldstone on course now. Troy Brosnan with a 3:41.2 is in the hot seat. Won in Sainte at the end of last year. Brosnan, this man though, has done a lot of winning in 2025.
He's so good at this rock section. He's able to skip a lot of the big holes. He jumps over some of the sharp stuff. He's just bouncing down the track and able to do a lot more pickups than a lot of the other riders.
Yeah, look at the speed he's carrying already. Just carrying some great speed through the apex of those early corners. That style Nico's talking about really evident in the first split, and the time is about to tell us.
That 4th win brought him equal with the late great Stevie Smith, Troy Brosnan, Danny Hart, Chris Kavarik. Another win would take him above them all.
Come on, Jackson.
That's right. A 1/10 of a second.
Inside line there. That's the first rider we've seen take that inside high line, gets the double into the jump.
As we say, A 5th win here would put him level with Fabian Burrell.
See, he did a triple into that turn from the left side of the track. It was interesting. He held it tighter, didn't cover as much distance, but still got the jump in.
And that's what we're getting used to seeing from him. That accuracy and aggression, and still managing to hang it out absolutely everywhere else.
And one rider that may not suffer from as many rear flat tyres like we've seen of others, because he's lighter, he can dance through it, and there's literally 10, if not 20 kilos less impact going through that rear wheel. Jackson Goldstone single-handedly changing the face of downhill.
And look at the face of Loic Bruni in the finish area, watching on. Bruni knows that he wants to keep that green jersey as we head to the 5th round, and this is his big rival. He is with just over...
Oh, look at the jump through the trees!
Just over 100th of a second back now. Goldstone yet to turn the split lights green, though.
Can't really get any closer than this. They may as well start from here.
Yeah, Goldstone looking absolutely superb. Rattles that pole on the way through. This is where he will get toward the big V10. Nearly drifts out from underneath him. He's
Sharon's a good speed. He's going to gain a bit of time from Troy there. This may put Jackson Goldstone into the green as we come down to the crucial second half.
The more routes, the better for the Squamish native. Troy Brosnan watches on the finish. He's 1.3 seconds faster now at the 3rd split for Jackson Goldstone. Is he about to make it 3 in a row? Nobody's done it since Danny Hart in 2016.
You know, he's a lot cleaner through this section. A nice jump in. Remember, Troy had a pretty big mistake in that left, and so did Tebow, so I expect him to extend this here if he can hit these tight turns well.
Goldstone ultra aggressive, but it's working for him.
No!
Hung on to it.
He's got a bit of a buffer.
Has that cost them the win today? Goldstone will need to get him down the next split before we can find out. Gets back, all his ducks in a line. Goldstone continues to attack. 1.6, he's extended by 0.3 of a second now.
Doesn't even need his feet lifted, and he jumps off the off-camber step down. What is happening in front of us? Jackson Goldstone putting down yet another iconic run for the 3rd week in a row.
Huge pull for Jackson Goldstone. Is this going to be enough? Is this going to be his 3rd win on the bounce? Is it going to be a free-peak for Goldstone? Hangs on to it through the left-hand corner. 1 to go, then he just has to cross the bridge. Here comes Jackson Goldstone. Is it going to be 3 in a row in 2025 for the Santa Cruz Syndicate? Jackson Goldstone wins by 2.4 seconds in Val di Sole, Trentino. The first rider to do 3 in the bounce since Danny Hart in 2016. What a run from that man.
That was incredible. The sections that he made time, the way he danced through the rocks and the roots, that was iconic and absolutely spectacular from Jackson Goldstone. This is 3 rounds in a row. This is unheard of. This young man from Canada is changing the face of our Downhill World Cup Series, and is here with authority and absolutely smashing it. What a great result from Troy Brosnan to be there. One of the best against one of the brand new champions of our sport.
His dad is down there as well. Jackson Goldstone celebrating with him. Deprella is there as well. Hangs on to 3rd place without a chain. Petey, though, likes what he sees.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Love your work. Peace out.
Josh Carlson exiting the commentary booth for Jackson Goldstone. I mean, Nico, what a run.
Yeah, I mean, he was right on pace from the first 2 splits and then just built from there. We saw from the other 2 riders on the podium a small mistake in the 3rd sector, and he just didn't have that. He could have had it with a cleaner run.
5 UCI World Cup wins to this man's name. Another one would bring him within 1 of the rider currently sat in the hot seat, Loris Bergier. A win today would draw him level with Aaron Gwynn's record 4 in a row. Jackson Goldstone for the Santa Cruz Syndicate leaves the start hut in Leogang.
Last time we had 4 wins in a row from Aaron, Jackson was merely 8 years old watching the American superstar on telly. He said he had a messy run yesterday. He was shocked with how quick he rode Q1. He's seen that there's more time in the track with Loris, Loic and the all-round brothers. This is going to be electric to watch today.
You've got to go back to 2012 for the last time someone did 4 in a row. Jackson Goldstone sets off in Leogang. Really neatly done through there. We know Vergier was mesmerising up top. Has Goldstone got the beating off it? What is this next time going to tell us on a topsy-turvy day here in Italy? Jackson Goldstone is back on the clocks by 0.7 of a second, but Nico, that's closer than just about anyone's been. Whoa, big moment there.
Right where he needs to be. I mean, naturally that section's flatter. It wasn't going to suit him anyway. But I think if he can get to here and really open it up, he's got a really good shot at this one.
Jackson Goldstone in the green of the UCI World Cup overall points leader, the Santa Cruz Syndicate rider. He's been unbelievable this season. 3 wins in a row.
So calmly just hucks off the end of that diving board rock.
Whoa,
triple
big
right
pull,
there.
Big pull across there for Jackson Goldstone. Nails that left-hander perfectly.
Really nice setup to that corner. We saw Luca have trouble, hit the pad. He hopped high on the off-camber and opened the turn, where a lot of riders were having trouble even getting the setup they needed to.
Lars Vergier watches on from the hot seat. Former Santa Cruz Syndicate rider himself, watching up at their latest star now. Jackson Goldstone going hell for leather on this wheel course. Absolutely flying across the road gap. He's won 0.08 of a second now, Josh.
Yeah, and that was quite a messy split, to be honest. He had a few mistakes there that cost him a bit of exit speed. Now, coming into these steep sections, this is where we expect Jackson to be able to swap direction and pull up and accelerate very, very well. It's one of his strengths. He can huck and butter every backside through the rest of this section here. This is where it needs to count. He is well within touch. Obviously, it's practically identical to Lars Vergier from here. Gets the inside line.
Really nicely done.
He's such a good rider on these steep sections. He's light. He's able to keep his inputs to the bike really intentional. I think that pays off in these steep sections where he can come in, brake later, and gain time.
It's been 1,037 days since Lars Vergier's last UCI World Cup win. Is that wait going to continue? Jackson Goldstone is 1/10 of a second outside of his time. And he hasn't turned the lights green yet.
He hit the inside line when he crossed that road and still managed to carry really good speed. We haven't seen many people be able to do the inside and carry good speed across the right-hand turn.
Carries exceptional speed through that Oakley root garden there. There's 2 sections to go that are crucial right now. 0.1 of a second back. He's the first rider we've seen to backside the berm as he comes into the 4th split.
Big pull. He's faster by 0.2 of a second. Nina Hoffman. Is it going to be double bubble for the Santa Cruz Syndicate today? Steve Pete looks on at the bottom. We're all looking up to see what Jackson Goldstone, can he make it 4 in a row? Vergier's time is looking in trouble here in the Thuile.
Vergier made up 1.3 at the bottom of the
Here
track.
we go, Jackson Goldstone down towards the line. Is it going to be 4 in a row? It is! 0.6 of a second. The first time since Aaron Gwynn did it in 2012. Jackson Goldstone wins 4 UCI Downhill World Cups in a row. The Santa Cruz Syndicate have themselves a day here in La Thuile.
Wow. Extraordinary run. Yesterday, Jackson made up so much time in the final split, and today he does it again right when it counts. He negative split at the top of the hill. We apologise for to avoid those braking bumps and carry the speed all the way through.
Here we go. We've been talking about Superman all week, but it's time for Super Bruni to let fly here in Pal Arinsal, Andorra. Loic Bruni has got a familiar scenario in 2025 in front of him. 123 beats per minute in the start hut on his Whoop Live. He's got to beat Jackson Goldstone today. He needs to break. He needs to break that cycle. He needs to find an answer for Jackson Goldstone, the big red S of Superman, not specialised on top of his helmet. Loic Bruni leaves the start hut and gets to work here in Pal Arinsal, Andorra.
Look how calm he is. He's whooped at 120 to 130 in the start gate.
Oh.
This man means business. Super Bruni with Superman launching this weekend. What a moment.
Bike squirming around underneath him slightly through those corners, Nico.
Yeah, pushing the insides of the turns, trying to avoid some of those braking holes. Just a little bit looser there, but he looks like he's really composed, even though he's hitting those gnarly lines.
Look at the composure.
Beautifully done across there. Bruni heads towards the first split. What is it going to tell us about how this is going so far? Bruni. Fastest by 1.2 seconds. Loic Bruni on a run here in Pal Arinsal, Andorra.
The calm, the composure, and the speed of the champion coming down the first split. 1.2, he's going to need it. And he gets the double jump.
And that will have got Jackson Goldstone's attention at the bottom of the track. Bruni heading towards split 2. What's it going to tell us? Absolutely sensational through the top split. Bruni is building a margin here. We have seen Palazari and a couple of other riders go bananas up top. Can Bruni build enough of a buffer now?
We saw a very similar run from him last year at the World Championships. Was up by almost 2 seconds going into this third split.
165 beats per minute on the Whoop Live as he heads down towards the second split. All eyes on the top left-hand side of your screen. Bruni, 1.4 seconds. Josh, he's found another 2/10.
He's building. He needs this at the top. We heard Jackson had to just deal with the consequence in the first half to feed it down the bottom. This looks like the Bruni of old. Bruni is charging here today and leveraging every single ounce of the champion that he is. Look at the speed through the key section. The speed under the drone is obvious and absolutely flying.
Loic Bruni got a win in Bielsko-Biala at the start of the year. Heads down into the open, crosses another split. It's 1.3 seconds. He's lost a 10th now. He won the first of 5 UCI world titles here back in 2015, beating Greg Menard and Josh Bryceland that day. Here comes Loic Bruni. The old track in Val Nord, of course, very, very different to this one. 168 beats per minute.
Jackson and Loris were very fast through this fourth sector, but I think Bruni has enough time to play with here, and I think he can get to the finish even with that 1.3 margin.
He's got to charge. He's got to attack the entrance into the rock garden here.
1 seconds at split 4. Bruni dances across the rocks, heads down the final chute, will head out into the open. Is this going to be Loic Bruni's second win of the year? Loic Bruni, is he going to break Jackson Goldstone's heart? Loic Bruni crosses the line and goes fastest in Pal Arinsal, Andorra. What a run from Loic Bruni. Bruni back to his very, very best. Apologies if you heard any language of the Specialized teammate there. Bergier celebrates with his best friend at the bottom. Jackson Goldstone is going to be denied a famous 5 in a row, but take nothing away. There we go. We saw a bit of emotion from Laurent last time out in Lenzerheide. We see even more this week.
You can see how happy he is to not only put a run, but to beat Jackson. Jackson is forcing Loic to lift, and Loic is lifting and absolutely displaying the champion that he is.
He told us last time out that he needs a rival to make himself better, and he said, bad luck, Jackson, this year it's you. Talk about putting some manners on the young man. Nico Malali, Bruni at his best, yes?
He's so good when he's at the top. He's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders. He rises to the occasion. He almost paints himself as the underdog, and he can ride so much better in those situations. It's a superpower that makes him Super Bruni.
There's shades of Menard about him, isn't there? He needs the chips to be down to lift himself to that extra level.
He does. The race isn't over yet.
What a news story this is from yesterday. Juanfer Munoz from Colombia, the Colombia.
He lost speed trying to carry too much speed.
Right, one man who will not have points computations and the weight of the world upon his shoulders at the top is this character, Ronan Dunne, getting ready to go for Mondraker Factory Racing.
Take the roof off now. Just don't even bother with the roof. Get rid of it. It won't be there by the time this man's finished.
I've used it a few times, but I'm going to quote Aaron Gwynn again. You've paid for the whole seat, but you're only going to need half of it. Here comes Ronan Dunne.
Ronan Dunne, here we go.
He's faster already, 6/10 of a second. Ronan Dunne getting about his business. Early doors here in Leger.
You could see the aggression straight out of the start gate. Ronan's been hungry for it. He's been on the return. He's had some incredible speed this season.
Really clean through there.
One rider to go, and it's Remy Thirion. What a race this has turned into in Leger. Great to see Dunne all okay after that horrible crash in Thuile.
They've been working hard on that bike too. Ronan's been putting in so many laps to prepare for today and next weekend. Ronan Dunne, if anyone would suit the conditions here today in the wild man style, it's the man from Ireland himself.
It is the muck master, Ronan Dunne, spraying dirt everywhere. Here he comes. Let's check him out through this section. Goes really, really wide. Nicely done through that route. Nico looks like he's losing virtually no speed at all through there.
Feet on the pedals. I think it's one of the cleanest we've seen through that second split.
The exit out of there. Look at the extra speed he's carrying across the lake. This has got to be green. It's got to be more. Ronan Dunne's putting on a charge here. Look at the Wakata into the
1.496 seconds now. Ronan Dunne on the move. Can he add to that? Currently just one UCI Downhill World Cup win to his name at Stark Bike Park last season. It might be more by the end of this afternoon.
Ronan Dunne's charging here. He's the one man who's got his eyes fixed on one spot and one spot only. He can do it here in Leger. He's got half the course to go. This is where he needs to focus in, lock in, and continue the momentum and speed that he's carrying already.
The evolution of this man's riding over the last couple of seasons has lost absolutely none of that aggression and raw speed. Pulls across the gap, sort of 50-50s. It doesn't slow him down too much. 171 beats per minute on the Whoop Live in zone 4 now.
You can see Ronan's mindset in the way he's riding, just going for everything, throwing everything he has at it.
It's the only way he knows. Ronan Dunne across the gap.
He looks well within himself too. He's riding with a good level of anticipation. He's not riding on the edge.
2.4 seconds faster.
He gets through the hole that took out many before him.
This is looking really, really good from Ronan Dunne. He's currently nearly 2.5 seconds up on the hot seat time of Martin Mays, but we know Mays was extremely fast from here on down.
2.4 seconds into this key bit. He can afford to take a breath. Will Ronan? Not a chance. Come on, son.
Oh, Ronan Dunne getting to work behind the bars of that big Mondraker, and it is currently working out very, very nicely for the Irishman.
Good high entrance there. Look at the extra exit speed he's carried. He's going to carry this down, the momentum through into this corner. This
Perfect
is it.
Through there.
Perfect.
He's got 2.4 seconds up and he's charging into the lower pedals. This young man is as strong as he gets.
Still 2.5 seconds. He's extended by another 10th. One of the stars of John Lawler's latest film, Emerald Storm. And you can see why he's one of the stars of any racetrack. Ronan Dunne.
This is the run we've been waiting for Ronan. He's had this expectation, this form in him all season. He's had a couple of big mistakes. He started off with a bang at the beginning of the season. He's had his injuries. He's fought back and now he's arrived.
Here we go. Ronan is on his way. He's just got one corner to go. Ronan Dunne gets it done in Leger. 2.8 seconds faster than anyone else, and there's only one rider left at the top of the track.
Wow, what a result.
He said after that win in Poland he didn't come here to take part, he came here to take over. Ronan Dunne. Well, straight into discussions with Jorge, the team manager. Oh, they keep coming. Next up, Amaury Pierron for Commensal. Muck off by Riding Addiction. Yet to chalk a win in 2025. Once won so badly.
Loic Bruni mentioned earlier this morning just how difficult it is to navigate the rocks up there. There's more and more emerging and they're so sharp. There is no room for error. You must be as precise as you can be amongst some of the gnarliest rock sections up there.
This is notoriously a track for punctures because, like you said, they do come out. They might not be ones riders are aware of, but as in those braking zones, sharp rocks are coming out throughout the day.
Second place in Loudenvielle for this man. His best result of the season so far. Still waiting on that win. A win today would put him level with Sam Hill in the overall wins tally on 13, but looking super strong and ominously tidy out there. Pierron, he's back, but just by 100th of a second. And Nico, a lot of discussion out there this weekend as well about the weight of the bikes. I mean, a heavier bike should suit this place, shouldn't it?
It helps to carry the momentum once you get that mass moving. It doesn't want to slow down, and it makes the bike feel calmer too. So I think riders really like that.
Emery's had a few issues the last couple of races with wheels and tyres. He opted to go for no insert in the rear today, which is quite a risky scenario considering how many blunt force impacts are going through that rear wheel. But he's up. He went up in tyre pressure on the rear tyre to get through. He had a mechanical yesterday which caused him
He's faster by 9/10 of a second than Ronan Dunne.
But that harder rear tyre pressure with no insert allows him to push through the corners.
165 beats per minute on the Whoop Live for Amaury Pierron, motoring now into the elevator shaft.
We saw this section in person when Amaury came through, and my goodness.
Got
was
a
he
little bit out of
charging.
sorts there. He's tried to jump across the off camber. He didn't really hold it as well as he wanted to.
0.9 of a second to the next lead. 0.7 up now.
7/10 now, so he's lost a couple in there, but crucially, the light remains green. The number can save it at once. Round that rut really, really neatly. Just gets that big body so low over the bars as well.
It's also, it's hard to remember. He broke his collarbone like 8 weeks ago.
We said that in our track walk, didn't we? It feels ludicrous to mention it, but yeah, destroyed the collarbone and straight back on. Has to rely on every part of that collarbone.
He's been doing
Stay
his
upright
thing.
there.
Amaury takes a breath before the next timing.
7/10 of a second, holding station now.
He's holding pace with Ronan Dunne down the bottom. Ronan had a couple of wild moments down lower here.
We know that Dunne checked that front tyre as he crossed the line and shook the head. Pierron has one sector left here. Lenzerheide, I thought he was jumping out of the track there. Pierron over the bridge, over the drop, across the line. Is this going to be it? Pierron goes fastest by 1.1 seconds in Lenzerheide. First benchmarking launch, then Ronan Dunne. Only survived one rider here in the Elite Men's Finals. Wow, Nico, what a ride from Pierron.
He hit this inside so well.
He
cuts
clipped
off
the pad on the way past.
Yeah, he's using every inch of the track. He cuts off a lot of distance and still carries great exit speed.
Almost gets ejected there, gets hung up on those speed. Look at this. He whips over the fence rail, gives you wings, not right there, sending it all the way to the line. That's a solid run from Amaury Pierron here this afternoon.
Here we go, 2 to go. Luke Meier-Smith is up next. Superb qualifying session yesterday. 10th in Lenzerheide. Giant really becoming the kings of quality. Strong, focused, hard working. Comes from a BMX background. This will suit him, Nico.
Yeah, these conditions will make him feel right at home. He's been really strong this season, consistently making all the finals, but this final runs just haven't quite come together the way he's wanted to. So today might be his day.
Goes really, really well in Mount Buller. Back in Australia. Track really reminiscent of this place. So
really tidy through that section. He wasn't one of the riders doing anything too crazy, but he just rode it very smooth.
He won Aussie Champs there, actually the 3rd time he's done it earlier this season. So Luke Meier-Smith may well be a danger man today, and he's into the green by 0.2 of a second.
He looks really calm on the bike here today too.
Yeah, he doesn't have that sort of... Sometimes he can look like he's just pedaling past the corners almost, do you know what I mean? He looks in control here, Meier-Smith.
Yeah, hopefully that little confidence that he got from a good qualifying run is what he needed to ride today. Sometimes he just looks a bit rushed, but today is looking on point.
He's really meshing well with Remy Thirion, isn't he, as well, on Giant? The two of them are bringing out the best of each other.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps to have a teammate share lines with and push each other.
There he is, last man left at the top, Lucas Shaw. Let's see. He's faster. He's faster than Kiefer at the second split here. Meier-Smith, 300ths of a second.
I think he's the first one we've seen that's been green at the second split.
Absolutely nothing in it. And we know this man is one of the most physically strong riders on the circuit, so they have no problem carrying the speed down low here, Nico.
Yeah, and he'll be really good at pumping these jumps too.
The last time a German man won an elite UCI Downhill World Cup was in 1996. Marcus Klausmann in Nevedal in Italy. Are we about to see?
Kiefer will be wanting to do Klausmann proud.
Yeah, exactly. Do the whole country proud if he gets a win here in the USA today.
We have a lot of fans watching these races from Germany. It's awesome to see we have another top rider from Germany as well.
Yeah, they're a big mountain biking country. They just haven't had as many of the pro riders coming through, but Kiefer could be about to change things. What has Meier-Smith done though? Through this wood section, he's 6/10 of a second faster now. Pushing really, really hard here, Luke Meier-Smith.
Wow, he aces that, jumps off the off-camber into the woods.
This is quickly turning into the run of Luke Meier-Smith's life in front of our very eyes here. Henry Kiefer watching on from the hot seat. Luke Meier-Smith on the hunt of his debut elite level downhill UCI World Cup win. He's won an Enduro one.
He's building through this run.
He is building through at 1.2 seconds now at the fourth split. Just one more sector to go. Henry Kiefer applauds his efforts. Luke Meier-Smith, absolutely no one would begrudge him this win if he can get this bike to the line. Luke Meier-Smith mid-air, pedaling, one turn to go, and then just the two gap jumps. Here comes Luke Meier-Smith. Is this going to be career win? Number one in downhill for Luke Meier-Smith. He goes fastest by 0.8 of a second. Look at how proud he is, man. His brother Remy is down there. Those two have worked so hard for this moment. Even Remy can't get him off the ground. He's that solid. Look at what it means to Luke Meier-Smith. What a ride. Somewhere in that finish arena, Josh Carlson has just shot into orbit.
Go Jackson Goldstone reads the banner. Goldstone, if he can get a win today, Loic Bruni needs to finish second or third. It's all come down to this. 72 points between this young man going for his first ever elite level UCI Downhill World Cup title, and Loic Bruni going for his fifth. The UCI Downhill World Champion for the Santa Cruz Syndicate is locked and loaded in the gate. Whatever happens next is history.
The rainbow jersey against one of the future greatest of all times in Canada on Mont. It comes down to this moment. Jackson has qualified third. Loic Bruni is first. It is all up to Jackson right now.
In the hot seat, Andy Kolb looks on. Nico Mullally.
That was an incredible start. You saw how far he jumped out of that turn. He's really going to have to use his strength to his advantage. He and Loic have opposite strength. Jackson's better in the more technical sections. Loic's a really powerful rider. He's going to have to make as big of an advantage as he can in the woods.
In many ways, Josh, are things simpler for Jackson Goldstone today? Needs to win, then let the cards fall where they may.
Absolutely not. It could not get any more difficult than this right now. The pressure, the expectation, the moment. He knows what it takes to win here. He's won 4 times this season already, but this is the moment.
Whoa.
And look at the backside over the rocks. Jackson Goldstone is on fire here this afternoon.
0.6 of a second back on that time of Andy Kolb's.
That little left-hand corner here is proving to be a bit difficult as the riders come down.
Absolutely throws it round there across this rock gap, gets the wheels back on the ground, accelerates down through this section. Nico's looking good so far.
Yeah, he's looking really good. You can see him just lean his head into these turns. He hasn't given up any momentum. Huge gap there.
Huge gap across there.
This is where Jackson excels, when he has the freedom and the flexibility to jump and backside all of these little jumps. He is such a fluid rider.
And the Canadian crowd are going to get louder and louder, and they've all moved down towards the bottom of this track. It's quiet up here for now. You wait till Jackson Goldstone hits the finish arena here in Mont at his home round, the 10th of 10. He's 0.6 of a second still outside that time of Andy Kolb. Another big gap up there. Back end nearly gets away from him.
Yeah, that's the closest we've seen in quite a few riders. 0.6 is definitely within possibility of makeup.
Yeah, and he's still got Liddell in the bottom section to come. Let's get him through the trees here. Jackson Goldstone.
He goes for that outside line exiting the woods. It's one of the first riders we've seen do that. That should give him a better drive out here across this motorway.
And one of the first riders we've seen to maintain that speed of Kolb at the bottom. So he is 0.6 back still, but it's the same pace. So he's on pace with Kolb here. This is where Kolb started to go backwards, and this is where we expect Jackson Goldstone to step up. Gets the full gap over the Stevie Smith drop.
Down behind the bars across the Stevie Smith drop. A Canadian going for an overall title on home soil. It all makes so much sense. Here comes Jackson Goldstone. He's fired a 10th of a second. Half a second now in touch.
Pre-jump over the top. Nearly goes out the front door. Jackson Goldstone is on the limit and flying this afternoon.
Heads into Liddell. Here we go. Jackson Goldstone. What's he got in store for us in here? Skims
Look
across
at how fast he entered that.
Jackson Goldstone. Oh, gets pushed towards the front.
That was incredible.
Dancing his way down through.
Triples out.
Don't worry about going through the rocks, just jump over them.
Oh, Goldstone, really, really nicely done for the first part of Liddell. Come on in the open, then it hit the second part of it.
Gets the triple.
Gets the triple, gets the gap, heads down again. Josh, that was so fast.
That was so fast. That was the second key moment. We're about to hit the next split. He's up.
He's up by 2 seconds. Jackson Goldstone up at sector 4. Just one to play for his 2025 season. Needs to put himself into the hot seat if he wants a chance of winning his debut elite level overall title. Here comes Jackson Goldstone in front of his home fans. Goldstone, is he going to do it? Can he make it? Goldstone crosses the line and goes fastest in Mont by 2.2 seconds. It's advantage Goldstone in the title battle. Andy Cole can't believe it. The fans can't believe it. That's it. That's all Goldstone can do. Over to you, Loic Bruni. He needs a second or third now if he wants to take the overall title. But for Goldstone, that might be enough.
The rainbow jersey in Canada. The title points on the line, and Goldstone delivers.